Ramy Berberena is here. He is to my left. I'll have him flip on the headset right there, and he will talk to us in there. And so we'll talk to Mr. Berberena mostly about track and field, but we'll also talk some football as well. Actually, my first question to Ramy I guess you could call it a football question. So my question to you is, with all of the success that you've had in track and field, you got records. You got 8 different school records. You had the second fastest time in the country this past spring in one event. Why risk it all and play football?
Coming in freshman year, football was really my main sport, and it wasn't all about track, maybe how it is right now, but I just really couldn't give that up. It meant way too much. Like, I have a family in football, and I can't just leave them hanging. So the risk doesn't really weigh as much when I have a brotherhood and a family that I have to come back to and play with. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say, obviously the risk doesn't bother you. Or, you figure that's just kind of part of the deal.
Yeah, I mean, usually when I talk to my coach about it, he would tell me like, you gotta be careful, but it's all up to you. And I know if it was all up to me, then I was playing. Like, unless he told me specifically, like, look, it's not a good idea and you cannot play, then I wasn't going to play. But as long as it was up to me, I was going to play regardless.
Now, in terms of, I'll switch gears to track and field for a second. And I'm looking at, let me just read this here. This is going to take me a hot minute to read, but I'm going to read this here. Let's see. All-American track and field. You won the 400-meter hurdles at the New Jersey Meet of Champions. NJSIAA Group 4 champion in the 400-meter hurdles. That's where you had the second fastest time in the country. Central Jersey Group 4 champion, 55-meter hurdles and 400-meter dash. GMC champions of 2018 and 2019. 2018, 400-meter hurdles. 2019, 55-meter dash, 55-meter hurdles, and 400-meter dash. And then you have the North Brunswick record, one of 8, this one for 400-meter hurdles. So, with all of that, do you ever get bored?
I mean, it was always, like, from the beginning, it was always get more. Because, like, that's really all my coach teaches me. Like, Coach Grimes, my track and field coach, he always says, I'm not satisfied. Like, and I tell him all the time, I'm never satisfied. So, like, boredom really never comes to mind when I'm always chasing something better.
Your track coach, Shawan Grimes. Now, in track and field, is it more about your legs and feet in track and field as opposed to maybe football where you have more body parts involved?
Yeah, absolutely. In track and field, I wouldn't say it's not all body, because, like, your full body takes part when you're running. Like, you still have to work on your arms and your chest, but, like, it's honestly more the legs, just because, like, you're running, and, like, especially the deal with hurdling, you need more flexibility to hurdle. But for football, it's definitely a lot more like being built and being, like, muscular, and your size really matters in football. And track is not really that important for your size.
Is there a different kind of pressure? I mean, clearly not for you, because you obviously won a lot of meets. But is there a different pressure in track and field than football?
I honestly think so. In track and field, it's more about, like, you and yourself. Because, like, if you get out on the track and you're racing and you're out ahead, you're by yourself. There's no really companionship with anybody else unless you're doing, like, a relay or something. But usually it's by yourself, and usually it's more like singular. And football is always a team. It's always you're always doing something together. You're never by yourself. So
with the by yourself part, is it one of those things where you feel like only you can beat you, only you can beat yourself?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. When I'm running and I'm ahead of everybody, like, it's all about me. It's all about me pushing myself to get to the finish line, and yeah.
Now, in all the events that you've won, which one did you have to work the hardest at?
The hardest event,
Or which one, like, when you prepare, did you have to work the hardest for?
I would definitely say 400 hurdles. 400 hurdles is not an easy race by any means. That's why not many people in the country run the race. It's actually, like, an extremely difficult race to run. Like, just combining 400 with hurdles. Like, 400 itself is difficult enough, but adding 10 hurdles to it and breaking it down, and, like, the rhythm and the speed in between, and it's just a lot more to train and practice for to get down than any other race.
I had someone come here. Someone told me a little while ago. Someone that did track in college. She did the shot put though, but she said, in the people that she talked to, that nobody wants to do the 400-meter hurdles because it's so tough.
It's a grueling race. It's not like any other event in track. I honestly think it's the hardest one. People might argue like the open 400 or the 800, but I'm stuck on the 400 hurdles being the hardest event.
And with that, now when I was doing my little research on you, Felix Lawrence from Freehold Township, he was like your main rival. It's kind of like Tiger Woods versus Jack Nicklaus or Muhammad Ali versus Joe Frazier. You got that one guy that no matter what you try to do, you can't shake him. Tell me about that a little bit.
Coming in to the season, I knew I had the fast 400 hurdle time, like in New Jersey. So I knew that there was going to be people that were going to come up because people get better every year. But he wasn't on my radar, really. He wasn't someone that I was looking, because last year in the 400 hurdles, he had no competition with me. But then as soon as we got to sectionals and he beat me off of I'll give him the race, but I messed up my seventh hurdle actually. I hit it like completely and I like fell off balance and stuff. But after that I knew that he was gonna be the one. And groups I had to fight with him. I beat him out, but it was a really good race. And Meet the Champions, I think I just completely took over and it was just my race. So yeah.
Was it more satisfying because you beat your rival, or that part didn't matter?
To me it was Meet the Champions and it was be a state champion. It wasn't really who you want to beat specifically, and like if I got second and I beat him, I wasn't gonna be satisfied. So like it was more of like make people proud, because a lot of people were counting on me to win Meet the Champions, and my coach especially, Coach Grimes and Coach Ney and Coach Riato, all of them were definitely counting on me to win and practiced with me and trained with me to win. So it was more just a win situation more than like beat a rival.
Speaking of Coach Viato, when I was talking to Miles Bailey earlier,
oh, man.
he's now the enemy. He's now the new head coach at South Brunswick. He was your track coach, one of your track coaches. So do you worry that he's he knows you inside out?
I mean, honestly, I don't think that the stuff we're doing right now is a little different from what we changed it up we changed a few things up from last year. So I know that he's gonna have an idea about like me and who I am, but like coming out from like a backup guy and like not really playing much and playing a different position to a whole new year as a starting quarterback. He doesn't have that much background on me as starting quarterback, so I don't think he's gonna have much.
Now, before I switch completely over to football, I have one more track question for you.
Yep.
What would you like to accomplish in 2020 now, senior year?
It's a lot bigger. It's a whole bigger picture now that I ran the time that I did this year. But definitely U20 champion. I want to go out and do that. Absolutely. Of course, I want to win like sectionals and groups and then meet the champions. But like the bigger picture is definitely U20 and just winning that. Like not second, not third, not making it there. U20 champion. And national champion, of course.
Now, for AllAmerican, like, do they call you? Do they email you? Do they just show up at your door? How do they do that?
So at nationals, after your race, you'll go to like this little table to get your medal and like you get a shirt. And at that table, there's a little tablet that you fill out your information, like your email and your number and your name. And then like you get an AllAmerican certificate in the mail. So you get like a certificate saying that you're an AllAmerican, and you have like stickers and stuff. So yeah, that's how they get that.
There can't be, I would say, I don't know, let's say out of 100 people, maybe you kind of fill in the blank for me, maybe 10, 15, 20 get All-American?
Yeah, it's definitely not easy. A lot of people at nationals really show up, so it's not really based on your time, because my time was ranked like 6th or 7th. I ended up at 2nd. So like it's really not based on your season's best or like your season best time, or like it's really based on what you do that day and how you perform that day. So like it's a lot harder to like come up in like the top 8, which is All-American. So.
Oh, okay, so then everything else you did before that doesn't matter. It's about that day.
Yep.
Now I'll move to football. So you're the starting quarterback. Now you take over for Christian Petrillo. Is it different? You mentioned you were one of the backup guys last year. You did some special teams. You played a little wide receiver. Is it different now being the guy on the field that has to lead these guys from one end of the field to the other?
Yeah, absolutely. Like there's no other word to describe it but different. Coming in like for like receiver last year and like playing quarterback freshman year for the freshman team and playing quarterback for the JV team, I know it's gonna be completely different. But leading, like, honestly, I have a connection with every single kid on the team, like, because they're all in my grade. We all talk, we all bonded through football, so it's really not that hard to have like chemistry because we already have it. So it's not hard to like come in and like lead because like we're all working together already. Since like these last few years we all been working together, so it's really not that hard to come in and lead.
And obviously Miles is a big part of the offense. How much do you rely on him? I mean, you're gonna have plays for you, of course, but how much will you rely on him to kind of help you through those rough spots a little bit? Because not every game's going to be a piece of cake.
Yep.
How much do you rely on him to kind of just help you through some of those times?
Me and Miles have a special relationship. Miles is one heck of an athlete. He's a special athlete at that. But I know that when the time gets there, he's gonna be there. He's not that guy that's gonna be like, "Oh my God, Remy, come on, Remy, like you're just being dumb." Like I know it's gonna be that. Listen, just relax. I got you, because he has a lot of experience in varsity. He has a lot of experience at the upper level of football. So I know he's gonna walk me through it. And if anything were to go wrong, I know he would be there to have my back. So I'm really relying on him for that.
What is head coach Mike Saipan? What is Coach Saipan? I know he's listening from his villa in Tahiti somewhere. He's listening. He's on vacation. That's what he told me anyway. But because I know he's the type of guy that he's on vacation, like his body's on vacation, but his brain is thinking football. That's how he is.
Yeah.
But what has he told you as far as what he expects from you?
Even through track season, he's telling me like, you're the guy. Like, you have to lead. You're the guy. You're playing QB. You're gonna be the guy next year. So I hope you're ready. And I told him already. I said I've been ready. I've been ready since freshman year. I told every single coach that, and he expects above and beyond from me, and I'm definitely going to give him that this year.
You said you told every coach from freshman year on. Did you feel like you had to prove something?
I feel like personally, I always have to prove myself because like I could sit here and tell you, oh, I'm gonna win, be the champions next year. I'm gonna get this many touchdowns, I'm gonna get this many yards, this many passing yards. But like, just proving myself is in me. Like, I've done it before, and I'm willing to do it again. So like, I know my coach. I know I'm gonna prove him. So.
And do you have anything to? I'm talking. We talked about track already, but just football wise, do you have anything to prove to yourself as far as football?
I told myself I was ready for varsity football freshman year, but I get a little bit of feeling of being nervous for the season. But all those nerves, I'm gonna work them up to just turn them into something positive, and I'm gonna just ball out. So.
Talking with Ramy Berberena, who is the starting quarterback for the Raiders football team this year. Big shoes to fill. By the way, what's your number this year? You had 7 last year, right?
No, I had 9 last year. I'm also being 9 this year.
Okay.
So I'm gonna keep the 9. Yeah.
Okay. So you're filling in big shoes with for Christian Petrillo. Obviously, you guys are different in that I'm sure you're going to throw it from time to time, but you're obviously you're being the track guy. Your speed is going to be your strength. Do you feel like you got big shoes to fill here, or do you want to create your own shoes?
No, I definitely do think I have some big shoes to fill in. Like, Chich was one, again, heck of an athlete, and it's not going to be easy to come in and top what he did, but I definitely got to prove something to like convince people that I'm a better option, but it's going to take a lot though.
Championship season is what the expectation is. How do you get I was talking about you being a leader on the field. Do you have to get the other guys to buy in? Do you have to get the other guys to believe, or are you there already?
Honestly, just because of the fact that a lot of my teammates ask me like, oh, why are you doing football? Why are you doing football? And I'm like, because I love it. I love the sport. I love you guys, and that's really it. And so I just like that fact is just like they just honestly believe in me already. Like, they know that if I really didn't have to play football, I really didn't have to come out and play this year. But I'm doing it for them. I'm doing it for my coach. I'm doing it for myself. So like, I feel like just that it makes them believe in me that much more. So
You said something interesting there as far as when you're walking in the hallways at school. A couple of years ago, Miles' freshman year, and your freshman year as well, they won 2 games, and now here you guys are, 10 wins. Is the attitude towards the football team completely changed?
completely is an understatement. Like the football team this year is nothing like freshman year. Nothing like this year is just it's just completely changed. Like the way how teachers talk about us, how everybody talks about us, like the hype about us, like just everything completely changed about this football team.
So, do you almost have to say, do you enjoy it, or do you almost have to say, calm down? We haven't played yet.
Oh, it's always calm down. My coach Ra, oh man, he always tells us we still gotta win. Like there's nothing else to it. We still gotta win. Like just because we won 10 games last year doesn't mean we can come this year and win. It doesn't mean we can't come this year and win 1 game. Like we still have to prove it. We still have to win. We still have to keep our heads right. So we don't ever let that get to us at all.
I asked Miles about if he has a game on the calendar that he said South Brunswick. So do you have a game that is for you?
No doubt, South Brunswick. No doubt.
Yep.
South Brunswick. as soon as we heard the news that Coach Vial was going to South Brunswick, we knew that was going to be the main target of the season. But of course, games after that, Sayreville is definitely a big one. But South Brunswick is definitely my main target. And I actually made a deal with my coach, Coach Saipan, about my first touchdown of the season. But I can't really let none of that go yet.
Okay.
But just pay attention to my first touchdown of that South Brunswick game.
Rushing or passing?
Rushing.
Rushing. All right. So your first rushing touchdown, something that I assume that he's going to give you.
I'm gonna give it to him.
Oh, you're gonna give it to him.
Yeah,
All
I'm
right.
gonna give it to him.
All right. So I'll be on the lookout for that.
Yep.
Ramy Berberena, nice enough to join us here at National Night Out and talk some track and talk some football. Again, the football season begins 1 month from today, September 6th. North Brunswick versus South Brunswick. First time ever on opening night. Normally this is the Thanksgiving game, but no game last year. So this year they pick it up again. And as Ramy mentioned, John Viato, who was a line coach with the football team last year, takes over as South Brunswick head coach this year. So a little extra incentive for the Raiders to get the W and bring the Mike Elko Trophy back home to North Brunswick after 10 years over on the other side. So, Mr. Berberena, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Good luck, all right? Good luck to you guys.
Thanks,
and I'll look for that touchdown, all right?
Yep.
All right, thank you. You put that there. Ramy Berberena, thank you, sir.